Yeah, I would not. To be honest with you, Opetaia, I think he gets hurt every fight he fights. He gets hurt with fighters that are not even known. I think he needs a little bit more experience, and I'm gonna say the same thing like David Morrell. Everybody said that he was the next big thing and that he was gonna make David look like an amateur, this and that. He doesn't have the experience that David has. I think he is gonna be better in about 3-4 years more. I think he's lacking off experience a little bit more. We wanted to fight Bivol, Benavidez, and that didn't happen either. So, at the end of the day, you got to keep proving yourself. In my opinion, I think David will stop Opetaia right now at this point,
That's the fight that probably kept us from getting the Benavidez fight, the Bivol fight. Because I think after that fight, it's like, okay.
Yeah, this dude big.
This is a little big.
See, these people, they don't get along with nobody. How are we going to make those fights? They should get along with everybody, bro. It's another title. Let's get those fucking titles, the super titles too. Let's get all the fucking titles, but they gotta get along,
Jai Benavidez Sr. has finally spoken out, claiming David Benavidez could shock the boxing world by knocking out Jai Opetaia in a massive battle, calling Opetaia an inexperienced fighter compared to Benavidez. Jai Benavidez Sr. believes Benavidez would be a mountain too high for Opetaia at this stage of his career.
Don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter. He is gonna be a great fighter. But right now, he doesn't have the experience that David has. I see Benavidez Bivol and Zurdo Ramirez more dangerous than Opetaia.
In the middle of this, the long-awaited showdown fans want gets a brutal reality check from Terrence Crawford in a sit-down with Joe Rogan, as he reveals why Canelo Alvarez continues to avoid David Benavidez.
Everybody wants to see that fight, and they just can't figure out a way to make it happen. And you got to think someone's avoiding somebody, and it's not Benavidez.
No, not at all. I just think Canelo, in a sense, he know how big Benavidez is gonna come in the ring. Benavidez is a great fighter, but he's a big fighter. He's a tall fighter, and I just think Canelo knows, like, why would I want to get in the ring with this guy that's gonna be massive come fight time, and I'm not that big of a guy at all. I've been doing all this with my skills because Canelo's not a big guy. He's been fighting big guys his whole career.
Terrence Crawford notes that while size is a major concern for Canelo, he has still overcome bigger opponents before, but warns that Benavidez brings a level of power and attitude that could change Canelo's approach to the fight.
Yeah.
And beating them with skill, so you gotta tip your hat off to Canelo and what he's accomplished.
Absolutely.
Being 5'7", going up to 175 and fighting these big guys and actually winning and
knocked out Kovalev.
Yeah.
It was Kovalev later in his career,
Yeah.
but he's still Kovalev.
For sure.
And then having the courage to fight Bivol in his prime.
For sure.
I think that's the fight that probably kept us from getting the Benavidez fight, the Bivol fight. Because I think after that fight, it's like, okay.
Yeah, this dude big.
This is a little big.
Yeah.
Because Bivol, not just big, but he's got that Russian style, light on the feet, in and out, in and out, in and out.
Good boxing.
It's a difficult style to handle.
Yeah.
And the only guy to beat Bev who's another beast.
Yeah, so I think, him knowing that, and then I think the disrespect that he got from Benavidez had persuaded him to go.
On the other hand, Canelo insists his legacy is already proven, saying Benavidez adds little value and could risk it, but admits a big payday could still change his decision.
No, I always fight everybody, and I fight. I have legendary fights, Coro, Golovkin, but they bring me something to the table. So they bring me legacy to the table. So I'm talking about that. And I know you guys always want to put, if I beat Benavidez, you want to put other fighter there. And like I say, if the money is right in that a special fight. I mean, because he don't bring me legacy, he don't bring me anything. So if the money is right, I mean.
To add even more fuel, Jose Benavidez Sr. shared AI-generated street fight footage showing Canelo being beaten by the Mexican monster, intensifying the controversy. Moving on from Canelo, Jose Benavidez Sr. now sees Opetai as a tune-up, noting his frustration over not getting fights, but warns that if it happens, he would not only be hurt by Benavidez, but likely stopped as well.
I just see that, he's young, he's hungry, he's getting frustrated, We had to go through all that. We waited 5 years to fight Canelo Alvarez, and that fight didn't happen, and I don't think it's gonna happen. So at the end of the day, it's not what you want, And we wanted to fight Bivol, Benavidez, and that didn't happen either. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to keep proving yourself. In my opinion, I think David will stop Opetaia right now at this point, He's been hurt every fight that he fights. He hasn't really fought the opponents that David has fought. But I give him credit. He's getting better and better and better. The same thing that I told David Morrell and his team. David's going to fuck this guy up, He's going to hurt him. He's gonna hurt him,
As attention shifts to Benavidez's future plans, Tim Bradley offers a straightforward view on a potential clash with Jai Opetaia, one that is likely to split opinions. He believes Benavidez would control the fight in a similar way to his dominant showing against Zurdo Ramirez, arguing that Opetaia may struggle with the pace and pressure. Bradley highlights David's physical strength, non-stop aggression, and elite-level experience as key advantages, saying those traits would strongly tilt a high-pressure fight toward the Mexican monster.
I'm looking at all these headlines, and it's saying David Benavidez beats Usyk, David Benavidez beats Bivol, David Benavidez beat Jai Opetaia. Hell yeah, he beat Opetaia. Oh, I'ma double down. He gonna beat Opetaia. I double down on that one. He gonna beat Opetaia. See, Opetaia got good feet. Yeah, he can box, but he can be drugged into a fight. And if you know anything about David Benavidez, just like he did with Ramirez, he's the one of those guys that's gonna test your heart. He gonna test what you have in here. And once he go to Jai's ass and he tests what he has in here, Jai gonna lose his shit. Jai ain't gonna be boxing and moving around. Jai gonna be looking to fight.
Remaining confident in his breakdown, Tim Bradley points out that Opetaia often fades in the championship rounds, a weakness he believes Benavidez would punish with non-stop pressure. However, he makes a clear distinction when shifting to Alexander Usyk, calling him a far more complex puzzle. Bradley praises Usyk's movement, work rate, and ring IQ, saying they define elite-level boxing. He argues that Benavidez's aggressive approach could actually play into Usyk's strengths, giving the Ukrainian the tools to read, adjust, and take control of the fight.
Jai gonna get tired too. Yeah, because Jai, if you look at the history of Jai Opetaia, he get tired. Yes, he gets tired, period. And I stand on that. So, but when we talking about Usyk now, okay, come on now. Styles make fights. I know, I get it. I'm on the hype train too. I've always liked David. Yes, I've been critical of David and his footwork. And Usyk is one of those guys that can make him pay for what David Benavidez like to do. He squares up.
With Jai Opetaia in the picture and Alexander Usyk, the heavyweight king also being discussed for a showdown with Benavidez, the big question remains, can anyone stop the monster? Robert Garcia wants to see Usyk versus Benavidez and believes it would be a massive fight. He admits Usyk has the ability to handle pressure, but he is unsure if Benavidez's hand speed and punching power could overwhelm one of the greatest heavyweights in Alexander, making the outcome highly unpredictable.
Fácilmente ese güey. I think he's soon.
¿Quién le gana a
Maybe
Benavidez?
nobody unless super heavyweights. And heavyweight todavía. Yo pienso que with Benavidez, because I know they will be at heavyweight.
Eventually. He said no, though. Dijo que
And
no.
they will. I guarantee you they will. Because of the money and because, not right now, but just the biggest name in heavyweight, Usyk. He's also a cruiserweight. So give Benavidez 2 or 3 more fights at cruiserweight, and he could also move up to heavyweight. And Usyk's gonna be 40 by then. He's 38 now. You know what I mean?
Pero que no le hagan las pyramids that we can go.
That's
This is also a fight Teddy Atlas strongly supports. He insists that if Alexander can move from cruiserweight to heavyweight and succeed, then the Mexican monster also deserves a fair shot at heavyweight. Atlas highlights how both fighters began their boxing journeys in different weight classes but still reached elite levels. In his view, Benavidez moving up is just as valid as Usyk's rise, and he believes the size difference only makes the matchup more intriguing.
The great Usyk is heavyweight champ. He used to be cruiserweight champ. If he could move up and do it, you're going to tell me Benavidez can't do it? I know that you can make the argument, and I get it, that Usyk started at cruiserweight and went up to heavyweight. That Benavidez started at a lower weight, light heavyweight, and moved up and now got to make another move. All right.
Lower than light heavy, but yeah.
Yeah, lower than light heavyweight.
Building his case for why Benavidez deserves the opportunity, Teddy Atlas points to boxing history where many fighters from lower weight classes have successfully moved up to challenge bigger opponents at heavyweight. In his view, Benavidez against Usyk makes perfect sense. He argues that while critics focus on the natural advantage of size and weight, they often forget the smaller fighter brings speed, timing, and agility into the equation. Atlas believes those traits can neutralize size and make the matchup far more competitive than people expect.
A guy with that attitude, with that ability, if the right opportunity was there, could he? Yeah, we've had catchweight fights throughout the history of this sport that's around longer than any other sport, where smaller guys have moved up to fight bigger guys and they've won. They've won their share. Why? Because while we were looking at the other guy having an advantage of being a bigger guy, we forgot to look that the smaller guy had the advantage of being the faster guy, the smarter guy, the slicker guy.
The real concern, Teddy Atlas insists, comes if Benavidez tries dropping weight, as he would likely lose significant muscle and strength in the process. He also believes chasing a fight with Canelo is not necessary for his career right now, and does not truly add value. Responding to Jose Benavidez Sr.'s claims about fear, Atlas argues that is the wrong angle, suggesting Canelo simply does not need Benavidez at this stage of his career, making the whole debate more about timing than avoidance.
And I would be concerned. That's a real concern. I would be concerned about that, but I would be even more concerned, much more concerned, if he even thought about then going down to chase Canelo to make the fight, if that was even possible. Canelo, I don't think, is looking for that fight. Not because he's afraid. I don't think he needs it right now at this stage in his career. At where he is, the age he is, he's getting a little longer in the tooth. I don't think it makes sense.
Not Jai, but Dmitry Bivol has the perfect style to trouble Benavidez, and that is exactly what Tim Bradley strongly believes. He says he likes Benavidez a lot, but cannot ignore the reality of the matchup. Bradley acknowledges his power and pressure, yet points to one major flaw: foot movement. He explains that Bivol's elite ring IQ combined with his movement would create constant problems, making it extremely difficult for Benavidez to close distance and work effectively.
Bivol, if he fights Bivol has the perfect style to beat him. Oh, I'm sorry to tell y'all, man. For real. Y'all come in for the real. Hey, I like me some David Benavidez. I do. Shit, I can't wait till we fight again. But Bivol is a recipe for disaster. Now, would it be a fight? Hell yeah. It'll be a fight. David Benavidez, he don't go nowhere easy. Hell no. But when you got good feet that matches with this, right? And you understand the sweet science.
Despite admitting that Benavidez also has a strong fight IQ, Tim Bradley insists that Dmitry Bivol operates on a higher level intellectually inside the ring. In his view, what makes Bivol so dangerous is his ability to break expectations and fight completely opposite to any planned strategy. Bradley believes he constantly shifts rhythm, reads opponents early, and adjusts in real time, making it extremely difficult for aggressive fighters like Benavidez to find consistency or control the fight.
But he's stubborn, people. He's stubborn, all right? Bivol isn't stubborn. Bivol is a guy that can You know what? I'll tell you what Bivol is. Bivol is one of those guys that he'll do the complete opposite of what you think he gonna do. That's what he'll do. And he'll have a plan A, a plan B. He'll have a game plan for this, a game plan for that, but he'll do the complete opposite of what you think he gonna do.
Regardless of what comes next, Benavidez' future is still heavily debated. Sean Zittle, discussing it with Sean Porter, insists that talk of him moving to heavyweight is unfair and too soon at this stage. He believes there is no issue with the idea in the long term, but right now, Benavidez needs to improve his muscle strength and conditioning before even considering such a step. Porter emphasizes that regardless of the opponent, proper physical development is essential before making a move up in weight.
David thinks, and I think that's a step too far, at least for right now. But what do you think, Sean?
I think number one, getting on the strength program. There's things that he can do to tighten up that body at that weight class and not just be big. He's always been big enough to fight there. We see that now we know that he's big enough to fight there, but let's do the extra work needed to make sure that you can live there and not just go up against certain guys there. Let's make sure that you're able to beat anybody at that weight class.
Laying out his personal preference, Sean Porter insists Benavidez should take on Jai Opetaia, believing that despite the appeal of a Bivol fight, Opetaia is the more logical next step. He feels the matchup still carries excitement and becomes more interesting in the later rounds, due to both fighters' styles. Porter also notes that Jai is younger, hungry, and has been calling for this fight for a long time.
I personally want to see the fight against Opetaia. I personally want to see the fight against Bivol. Bivol, you're still around. And since you're still around, not that we're feeding you to the wolves, but this guy I think is young, vibrant, and probably would be, in a lot of ways, a tougher fight than Benavidez, or I'm sorry, than
Of course. Remember, I've been saying that. I'm good on the trilogy, man. Let Benavidez get his shot.
And simply because styles make fights,
making him deserving of the opportunity at this stage. Talking about a possible Benavidez versus Bivol showdown, Sean Porter says this fight brings much more excitement than a third meeting between Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. He explains that Beterbiev's approach is more straightforward and easier to prepare for, while Benavidez brings constant pressure, high volume, and unpredictable combinations that create real chaos in the ring. Porter believes both Benavidez and Bivol have enough power and skill to seriously trouble each other, which only increases the stakes. In his opinion, that mutual danger is what makes this matchup the most intriguing and high-tension fight currently being discussed in the division.
With Beterbiev, he's not complicated. He's going to be right there to hit and be hit, And like we saw with Bivol, it's up to Bivol to make the right moves, not be in the wrong spots at the right time. But with this fight with Benavidez, to me, there's just so much more that both these guys can do against one another that it makes it a better fight than the trilogy match with Beterbiev.
The future of Opetaia remains uncertain, with growing pressure from his own team and several boxing voices for him to secure a major fight soon. The dream matchup is slowly turning into a fantasy scenario. Recent comments from Jose Benavidez Sr. have added another layer of intrigue to the situation. After Jai called out Zurdo, some boxing experts now suggest that Zurdo Ramirez, following his loss to Benavidez, should consider facing Jai next to re-establish his standing and prove his true level in the division.
Like, if you're Zurdo and you want to be the kingpin, the boss of your division, fight Opetaia.
I know.
Or what is I don't understand what the point is, otherwise.
I give him Badu Jack a pass a little bit.
Yeah.
I know he don't want to fight Opetaia as well, but I get it. He's been around a long time and whatnot. He don't get a full pass, but at the end of the day, he's been in the game a long time. He's on the way out. He's trying to get a couple of good paydays before he goes out. So that, you can almost forgive it. But Ramirez, just don't want no part of it.
Meanwhile, Benavidez has made his intentions clear, stating that he is preparing to move back down to light heavyweight with his sights set on an undisputed clash against unified champion Dmitry Bivol, who is expected to face Michael Eifert on May 30. The unbeaten American says discussions with Bivol's team have already begun, and he is confident the fight can be made before the end of the year. After gaining momentum at cruiserweight, he is now fully focused on light heavyweight, insisting the long-talked-about showdown is finally edging closer to reality.
I told you guys I was going to come back down and fight Bivol, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now I won 2 more titles at cruiserweight. Now it's time to capture the rest of the titles at light heavyweight.
I love that. Do you think that it could happen? Is the dream for it to happen in September, Mexican Independence Day weekend? Is that what you want?
Not right now. I think I don't know what's gonna happen because we're still in talks.
So as the debate keeps heating up and the names keep getting bigger, one thing is clear: Benavidez is standing right at the center of every major conversation in boxing right now. Whether it is Bivol, Opetai, or even heavyweight dreams, everyone has a different vision of what comes next. Now it is your turn. Drop your pick in the comments, hit like if you think Benavidez runs through the division, and subscribe for more fight breakdowns just like this.